Alright everyone, hello. If you guys know the song Fergalicious, listen up y'all, because this is it. I'm Ethan John, running for affiliate. Again, hello, I'm Ethan John, running for next year's affiliate relations officer. With this position, I will strive to make a community with not only the Northwest FOSTA groups, but with any organization on or off campus. Engaging and interacting with many different orgs should not only be limited to me, but also available to Gen members as well. And by creating relationships with other organizations, I believe that we will strengthen our bond as a united Kapamilia. Thank you.
I don't have a song, sorry. Hi everyone, my name is Michelle and I'm also running for affiliate relations. I think an important part of this position is building lasting connections and representing UFC in the greater Northwest FOSTA community. And as a dancer and as a past president of the Filipino Club at my high school, I love networking and getting to know other organizations and reps and collaborating to create events that really showcase our culture. And also as a CLP mentor, I'll be working really close with OMA. And throughout the year, I think it's important to show support to other clubs as well. And volunteering at Swan Luau, that's a big part. So.
I don't sing either. I don't dance either. I'm just kidding. My phone won't unlock. Just a minute. Well, my name is Yolani Rule, for those of you that don't know me, and as far as affiliate relations go, likewise, as a dancer on my old dance team, part of my position was a captain and a leader for the company, and part of that involved networking and meeting with other dancers and building community for the shows that we did put on. It's really important to grow those bonds and reach outside of our own club so we can get to know others from other schools, and even within our own school, it's important to network and build connections, and I feel like everything they've said is pretty much what I would have to say, so yeah.
Do you want to ask a question? Or, oh yeah, it's my turn to ask a question. I got a question. Okay, so this is like a somewhat scenario question. So, in Northwest FOSTA, there's situations where a lot of organizations would lose their voting rights, and voting rights go as for every meeting that you attend, that means you get a valid vote to say whatever you guys discussed in the meetings, in alliance meetings. So that could go off of being like deciding whether you want to vote for like the next alliance meeting, where it's going to be held at, or like what events are going to be going on. And that's like a very crucial part for UFC to actually have a vote in saying what they want to agree on. So if we are on a brink of like losing voting rights, and the next alliance meeting required someone to attend the alliance meeting, but one of you guys have a midterm going on either of the Monday, what would you guys do in that situation to secure that we would have someone, or what would you do to secure that position in order for us to get those voting rights, and your buddy Ian would not be able to take you because he works on an advisory board?
That was a long question.
I'm sorry.
What was the question?
I'm sorry. If we were on the brink of losing voting rights and it was necessary for you to be at the next meeting, but you guys can't obviously because of a midterm or something very important is going on for school, what would you do in that case?
Well, I feel like one option would be maybe like, do you think they'd be okay with like video calling in to the meeting as well? Does that count?
Yes, but then at this, okay, I'm gonna point this one out too. This would actually, this meeting, I'm sorry, Ian knows this too. If we were on the brink of losing like voting rights and you want to retain that position to vote still, you need a physical like person there at the meeting.
And it doesn't have to be us.
It doesn't have to be you.
Well, I definitely think that communication is key. If you feel like you're you know, if you have like too big of a load on any schoolwork or anything, you can always like reach out to your fellow officer board members. And I feel like you shouldn't be afraid to reach out because as an officer board, you should you shouldn't be afraid to let each other know what our concerns are. And we shouldn't be worried, especially because we're representing our club. It's really important to make sure that we have, you know, someone to be there. And so I think communication is key. And I guess I would ask someone to represent me and talk to them about like how we should be represented and like what we're voting for. I guess make sure that's a consensus.
I agree. I think part of being an officer is being a leader, and we went on the lead. So those of us that did go on the leadership retreat, part of that is not being afraid to step up and take on responsibility. You know, if I am feeling that much responsibility and I can't handle it, or I have something really important to go to, I shouldn't be afraid to communicate that, hey, I need a little bit of help. And if my fellow officer needed help, they shouldn't be afraid to ask me. As well. So like if I needed help one day, I would gladly return the favor if they needed my help one day with something.
I agree with both as well. You know, communication is key with everyone, so that, you know, I feel like being on the officer board, you have to obviously support each other through any tough situation like this. So of course I would want another officer to hopefully, you know, help me out as I would do for them. Also, you know, I understand that you could also bring other Gen members too, so that they're also informed. It's not only limited to us as officers. So I feel like I can trust almost anyone to take that position.
So there is an audience question, and it is, how do you think your classmates or coworkers describe you as a team member?
I think specifically with like my old dance team on the leadership group, they said I was really responsible and organized. Part of my position there was also helping plan like our big dance events and coordinate those events and make the Facebook events and make sure everything was just super organized and clear, and like make sure anyone like saw those, it was clear to them what was going on, and communicating really well. So I think organization is what really helped me with that, and everyone really appreciated that I could help them with their roles too by staying really organized.
I think as a team member, I'm usually recognized as someone who is willing to listen, and that's a big part of who I am. I'm listening and understanding other people and making sure that their voice is heard is a big value of mine. And so as a team member, I'm really good at making sure that everyone's voice is heard and making sure that people are understood, messages are clear, and if there's ever a conflict, I'm kind of good at like mediating and like, I don't know, like pulling people in, I guess, instead of calling people out. And so I guess as a team member, I'm not always like the most outspoken, but I try to find a balance between listening and sharing my own voice.
I guess for me as well, as a team member, and I guess as a position higher, because also in high school I was the president of my Filipino club, and I feel like I was very organized, I was very energetic, I made sure everyone around me was okay. I tried to make sure my communication was on point with everyone to make sure that everyone's on top of their things. Just being organized is, I guess, a huge thing, and because I guess I'm funny, I get to brighten up everyone's day, hopefully. So, yeah.
Okay, this is a follow-up question off of Jeff's question. So, based off of what Jeff's question was, if you could not select an officer for that weekend for whatever was going on, who would you choose and why? And they're asking for a specific one person.
That's not an officer? That's not an officer or a general member?
just one person, I don't know.
So like not part of the club, you mean?
They would have to be part of the club.
right?
Oh,
I guess just,
one person?
who would you choose to go? Why?
So just choose any one person. Not an officer.
Well, we don't know who's an officer.
I did not mean to
Okay.
Should we just ask it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, the other question is, of the multiple groups around campus, they are asking for your assistance. How would you prioritize which groups to help first?
Whichever one.
Oh.
Whichever one contacted me first, I mean, I would have to honor that priority, and just like let the other clubs know, like, of course I would try to help out as much as I can, but I wouldn't want to take on so much that I can't give my all to any task. So, priority is just goes to whoever asks first.
Yeah, I think also like whoever's event is coming up soonest, or but yeah, definitely making sure that we don't have any bias towards certain clubs. I guess also making sure that there's like variety, like making sure that we're not always helping like this one club, reaching out to others if needed.
Yeah, definitely with both of them, I agree. We can't be biased. It's also with whoever contacts first, but also I feel like whoever needs the help the most too as well, like with maybe volunteers or maybe they're just stressing over setting up the event in general. I feel like I could be there to step in and help them out with any issues that come up.
Now a question from the alumni.
Again, my name's Ian. As Jeff mentioned, I'm serving on the Northwest FOSSA Advisory Board. And I think it's great that you all mentioned Northwest FOSSA in some sort of aspect, because Northwest FOSSA is growing, which is beautiful. And our club is a huge part of that. And so with that said, my question for you is, this thing isn't going to turn. Okay. How do you plan on fostering excitement and getting more people involved in Northwest FOSSA Alliance events, but also individual org events? So like if, for example, UW's got a thing going on Saturday, or what if Portland's got something going on the next weekend? How do you plan on maybe getting people excited for those, attending those events?
I guess first you can make relations with everyone else in other parts of Northwest FOSSA, so they'll get your name out there, get my name out, anyone's name out there. Just helping promote the events too, because after making the relations, of course, they're gonna see whatever you post. And yeah.
Yeah, I think social media is a good thing, but also like appealing to other clubs' interests. I know like free food is always like a good incentive, but yeah, making sure that we're also like showing support to their club, so they feel like they're more connected to us and like the other clubs in Northwest FOSSA. So that's
Promotion is definitely so important, like promoting my dance shows. Like you want to make sure you're appealing to your audience, like making sure you know what they want, like tell them what is in for that event, like the things they will gain from that event. That way they're not just like hearing like, oh, there's this event, like they want to know what they're going for and what they can gain from it, or else, I mean, you're not going to have interest in it. So making sure that that's clear to everyone will help get people interested.
Thank you.
Okay.